Hey, I'm Jim Search, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Rob Adler and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And this week, we are running it up with the record-breaking legend and icon, Ernie Davis.
Woo!
That's right, baby. We are continuing our celebration of Black History Month and thought we would bring shed some light on a unsung hero in the football world who we'll talk so much more about.
Basketball and baseball, too, as far as high school is concerned.
In addition, as far as football goes, what he accomplished, pretty dope shit, I must say.
Yeah, absolutely. I was not familiar with Ernie Davis before for doing our research, and excited to talk more about it. It'll be good.
Yes. We will let the Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's know all about what this 315 resident has done for the sport of football, as well as for the people.
Well, there you go. There you have it. You know what? Just like Ernie Davis made some major contributions to the sport of football, the Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's could make a major contribution to us. And I'm not talking about a monetary contribution, guys. I'm just talking about a 5-star rating and a positive review. And that's all it takes, guys. That helps us out a lot. Do one of those things, or do both of those things. Write us a positive review, and you can throw in a suggestion for a future upstate topic for us to cover on a future episode. We'll do it. We've done it, at least 3 times now. That reminds me, we've got there was one I found a while ago, and then I sent to you, and I don't think we talked about it on air. Maybe I'll dig it up as we chat here. But yeah, we've done it a few times, and we'll do it a few times more.
And we'll do it again. That's the thing about us, guys, is we will do it again. Give us a topic, and we will make sure that we make it. Well, it should be an upstate topic.
Yes,
right?
It has. That is the one criteria.
Please make sure it's involved in upstate New York. Can't be Canada. Can't be Pennsylvania. Can't be Ohio. You got to go with upstate New York.
Nope. And Jim, you know what? I found it. Let's read it right now.
Sure, let's get right to it.
This one was submitted about 8 months ago, I believe, but it was on a place we do not frequent, and I only found it because I was trying to do some research, some outside podcast research. It's on a podcast platform called Listen Notes, which I think it gives you like generic info about podcasts. But someone commented about our podcast there. This is from Jennifer from 8 months ago. So sorry, we're just seeing it now. I'm glad I found it though. From Jennifer, I have no idea where else or how else to leave a comment. Anyway, have you all done an episode on the Syracuse Nationals? We haven't, Jim. Let's throw that on the dock. I believe it's a minor league team from Syracuse. Or there's also a very large car show called the Syracuse Nationals. That's there. I assume it's probably the minor league team. We could just do both, Jim. We could do both.
I was just about to say this world contains multitudes.
It's true.
And we could quite possibly talk about the minor league team and then visit the car show.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. I feel like we owe it to Jennifer for almost a year.
She's been waiting a long time.
She's been waiting a while. I hope you're still tuning in, Jennifer. I hope you're still tapped in with us. You could also email us at understandingupstate@gmail.com if you're looking for ways to get in contact with us. That's a great way to do it.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
There you go. So yeah, anyone else hanging out on Listen Notes, take that note and shoot us an email, because we don't check that site. Though maybe now I will once every 4 months. Well, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, Jim, this is a great segue into a famous segment we have.
Oh, before we get there, though, I do want to say something really quick. That you should also after you leave an email for us is go buy a t-shirt. Understandingupstate.printful.me is the place to be to get your finest apparel, which you will undeniably be the talk of the town.
In fact, it's the only place. If you find our merch somewhere else, it's a bootleg. And
don't buy it.
I would be honored and also upset. But honored that someone took the initiative to want to make a bootleg. That means we have a hot commodity. Which it is a hot commodity. Jim, I don't know what kind of argument I'm making. All I'm saying is just go to that website for our merch.
Rob, it sounds like you just want people to get to understandingupstate.printful.me, and I'm cool with that.
There you go.
I like that.
There you go.
I like
let's
that as an option.
There.
let's just park that right there, folks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as we seamlessly transition to our world famous segment, which is
Upstate Update, baby.
Yeah, hell yeah. We got two of these. Got two of these joints.
We sure do.
And I'm happy to set off our first Upstate Update. So, alluding to what I'd just spoken about, a t-shirt, that we've been talking about, are Understanding Upstate t-shirts. To my delight and surprise, a South Side of Binghamton icon, my guy Tony, shot us a picture of him not only wearing an Understanding Upstate t-shirt, but also rocking a Rumble Ponies hat.
Oh, I didn't even see the hat. See the hat. Hell yeah. There you go.
Doing a whole lot of 607 shit in that picture. And listen, you ain't gonna get an argument from me about that. I think it's great. So big up to you, Tony. Thank you so much for picking up a t-shirt, taking the time to take that flick, send it to us, and we put that right on our Instagram page, which you should certainly go follow. And there's going to be a link to go buy those shirts over there too. I mean, listen, folks, the weather's starting to kick up. You're gonna need some nice tees.
You need short sleeves.
Yep. And that's going to be the one to do it. So
also, if you don't know what a Rumble Pony is, maybe check out our episode about it. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, and I hope they catch it.
I think it's labeled as the Binghamton Mets, if I'm not mistaken. But you'll figure out all about the Rumble Ponies in that episode.
Which, we would put the Rumble Ponies under the umbrella of the Binghamton Mets. And if we're throwing it out there, you should catch it just like the Rumble Ponies do every season, because they've never dropped a pop fly ever.
I'm sure.
You can look it up.
Sure.
You can go to Wikipedia and look that shit up. It's a fact. Never.
There you go.
Now that's one half of our Upstate Update. Rob, what else has been happening?
Jim, we've received correspondence from our number one speedy freaking rattlesnake Pete. One Adam Rodkey, who again he's been with us since episode number 1, and we are quite a few episodes.
We are 120.
Yeah, that's a few.
120.
That's quite a few. Adam sent us an email to let us know he's out there spreading the good news, the gospel of Understanding Upstate. He received correspondence from a friend to tell him that another friend, a friend of this friend, was moving
friend of a friend
to upstate New York. And Adam sent along our podcast. So
hell yeah.
Hopefully we've got a new listener on the way, and congratulations to this unnamed individual moving to a lovely place.
That's right, man. And on top of that, too, I just remembered there's a coworker of mine who is also moving to upstate New York, leaving the big city, heading upstate. Got a sweetheart of a deal to move up there, said you can't turn it down. I put her onto the podcast, too, and she started following the page.
Wow.
So big shout out to you and everybody that has been tapping in and supporting us for as long as they have. And keep doing it, man, because we love upstate New York, and we're going to talk about it in perpetuity.
Well, welcome to those new listeners and those new residents or future residents.
Sure.
But we're going to talk about a former resident of upstate New York, Ernie Davis. Shall we get to it, Jim?
I think we shall. Ernest Ernie Davis, born December 14th, 1939, and passed away May 18th, 1963, was an American college football player who was a halfback for the Syracuse Orangemen, or Orange today, and won the Heisman Trophy in 1961. He was the award's first black recipient, making black history, folks. You love to hear it, you love to see it. Davis was selected first overall by the Washington Redskins in the 1962 NFL Draft, but was almost immediately traded to the Cleveland Browns. He was diagnosed with leukemia that same year and died shortly after at age 23 without ever playing in a professional game. Fucking sad.
Yeah, dude.
Ay, caramba. He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1979 and was the subject of the 2008 film The Express, The Ernie Davis Story, which I had meant to watch before I got here, but I'm going to check that out post-view, or post-podcast. So there you go.
There you go.
All right. Let's go back in time to the early life. Davis was born in New Salem, Pennsylvania. His father was killed in an accident shortly after his birth, and his mother, Avis Marie Davis Fleming, could not raise him alone. At 14 months, he was cared for by his maternal grandparents, Willie and Elizabeth Davis. At age 12, he moved in with his mother and stepfather in Elmira, New York, where he excelled in baseball, basketball, and football in grade school. He attended Elmira Free Academy, where he earned 2 All-American honors. At the end of his senior season, he was recruited by numerous colleges and chose to attend Syracuse University after being persuaded by Jim Brown, a Syracuse alumnus.
Wait, did we do an episode on Jim Brown?
I think he's on the doc. I don't know if we've gotten to him.
I know we've talked about him, but I can't remember if it must have been because we talked about the Syracuse Orange.
Yeah, we've talked about Syracuse Orange, so
I know
he had to have come up.
we talked about Jim Brown and him being in the original Running Man, and I can't remember why, but it happened. All right.
So, fun fact, Rob, I met Jim Brown.
I wonder if we talked about that.
We might have, but we're going to do it again.
Yeah, remind me.
Why not? Sure. So, in a galaxy far, far away, your favorite co-host here worked in Cleveland, Ohio, as a assistant front office manager for the Hyatt Regency. And there was the Cleveland Browns. I forget what season Jim Brown played, but there was the reunion they were having, and they had a perfect season. I feel like it's one of the only perfect seasons the Browns had. Wow. And Jim Brown was part of that. And I will tell you right now, his hands are some of the most massive hands I have seen on a human being. Also pretty gnarly. Sure. They were pretty fucked up from years of just being a badass motherfucker.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
He asked me what floor, how to get to like the 3rd floor. And I told him, you go down the hall, I take the elevator. I said, do you want me to show you how to get there? And he looked at me and he said, I asked the questions around here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I was like, all right, man. Hey, listen, Jim, this is your world. I'm just living in it, dude.
There you go.
So that is my personal life story of Jim Brown. Pretty badass dude who persuaded Ernie to attend Syracuse University, which we will talk all about
there we go.
In his college career. Davis played football for Coach Ben Schwartzwalder at Syracuse University from 1959 to 61 and went on to national fame in each of those 3 seasons, earning first-team All-American honors twice. As a sophomore, Davis led the 1959 Syracuse team to a national championship, capping an 11-0 season with a 23-14 win over the Texas Longhorns in the 1960 Cotton Bowl Classic, where Davis was named Most Valuable Player. The same season, Elmira Star-Gazette sports writer Alan Millett coined the nickname for Davis the Elmira Express. In his junior year, 1960, he set a record of 7.8 yards per carry and was the third leading rusher in the country with 877 yards, having rushed for 100 yards in 6 of 9 games. That's just a full touchdown every game.
That's pretty good.
Single-handedly. It's pretty badass. The 1960 Syracuse Orangemen finished with a record of 7-2 and did not play in the postseason bowl game. In Ernie's senior year, the 61 Orangemen finished with a record of 8-3, closing the season with a 15-14 victory over the Miami Hurricanes in the Liberty Bowl, played at Philadelphia's Franklin Field. College football used limited substitution rules at the time, and players played both offense and defense. Jesus. That's fucking intense.
Yeah.
Most people can't play one or the other. So we're doing both.
Pretty good.
To the shock of no one, discrimination was prevalent in the American South and the North, but we'll talk about the South, during Davis's Cotton Bowl visit to the host city, Dallas, Texas. Author Jocelyn Selim writes that at the banquet following the 1960 game, Davis was told that he could only accept the award and then would be required to leave the segregated facility. Davis and his black teammates were allowed to finish their meals at the banquet. When dessert was brought, a gentleman quietly approached them and told them they would have to leave when the doors were opened to the public for a dance. The three got up to leave, and when the teammates found out, they wanted to leave too. But were told it would only cause a bigger problem, so they stayed. Boo. Solidarity, folks.
I'll say that is not what you call solidarity.
No, you want solidarity. You want allyship. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Although, a different account of the banquet was given by John Brown. Sorry. Not like John Brown, that John Brown, but like a more recent John Brown. He was Davis's teammate at Syracuse and on the Cleveland Browns, his roommate, and a close friend. According to an article in the Houston Chronicle, all the players from the game attended the banquet. Brown recalls that the team sat on opposite sides of the room. After everyone ate and the trophies were handed out, the three black Syracuse players, Brown, Davis, and Art Baker, were asked to leave and were taken to another party in Dallas by the local NAACP representatives. One Syracuse player, Gerard Schwades, recommended that the whole Syracuse team leave the banquet to show solidarity with their black teammates, but the suggestion was overruled by Syracuse officials. Boo. When the Chronicle asked Brown whether the film The Express is a truthful portrayal of his friend Brown, he said, in short, no.
Okay. Asked and answered.
You wanted to know, and now you do. Davis became the first black athlete to be awarded the Heisman Trophy, as we had spoken about earlier, the highest individual honor in collegiate football. And he also won the Walter Camp Memorial Trophy following his 61 senior year at Syracuse University. President John F. Kennedy had followed Davis's career and requested to meet him while he was in New York to receive the trophy. Whoa.
Cool.
The JFK himself. Later in 1963, when Elmira chose February 3rd to celebrate Davis's achievements, Kennedy sent a telegram reading, "Seldom has an athlete been more deserving of such a tribute. Your high standards of performance on the field and off the field reflect the finest qualities of competition, sportsmanship, and citizenship. The nation has bestowed upon you its highest awards for your academic achievements, or for your athletic achievements, rather. It's a privilege for me to address you tonight as an outstanding American and as a worthy example of our youth. I salute you." It's pretty awesome to be saluted by the president. Well, not president. Pretty awesome to be saluted by a sitting president who isn't a creep. During his time at Syracuse, Davis wore the same number, 44, as had legendary Orangeman Jim Brown, helping to establish a tradition at the school that was acknowledged on November 12th, 2005, when the school retired the number in an on-field ceremony. After winning the Heisman Trophy, Ernie Davis talked Floyd Little into doing an about-face and playing football for Syracuse instead of Notre Dame. Goddamn. Davis also played basketball at Syracuse for one season, 1960 to 61.
Crazy.
Syracuse University. Yeah, that's freaking nuts. Syracuse University, as a way to honor all the athletes that have worn the number 44, was granted permission by the United States Postal Service to change its zip code to 13244.
That rules. That's who pitched that in the meeting? Like, hey guys, what if we change the last two digits of our zip code? Pretty cool idea.
And they said, how could we not?
There you go. Sure.
Jim Brown and Ernie Davis?
Yeah, sure.
Come on now. While attending Syracuse, Davis was a member of the Sigma Alpha Mu fraternity and nationally recognized Jewish fraternity. Davis was the first African American to become part of the organization, not only at the Syracuse chapter, but for the national fraternity as a whole. He was also a candidate in the university's Army ROTC program and was commissioned as a second lieutenant following graduation. Davis was posthumously inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1979. Davis was also a member of the Pigskin Club in Washington, D.C., National Intercollegiate All-American Football's Player Honor. In 1999, Sports Illustrated included him on its all-century team for college football. So, got his flowers post-life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Rob, let's talk a little bit about, and I put this in quotes, the professional football career of Ernie Davis.
Yeah, let's get into it. So Davis was the first overall pick in the 1962 NFL draft, and if that's a surprise to you, you haven't been listening for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah,
man, earned first pick for sure. And this was on December 4th, 1961, and he was selected by the Washington Redskins, and he was then almost immediately traded to the Cleveland Browns. He was also drafted 2 days earlier by the Buffalo Bills of the American Football League. Let's see. Redskins founder and owner George Preston Marshall was an avowed racist. Oh, who would have guessed with a team name like that? Huh.
Yeah.
Who kept the Redskins entirely white long after the other teams had integrated.
Jesus Christ.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
He openly admitted that his unwillingness to sign a black player was an effort to appeal to his mostly Southern fan base. They had been the southernmost team in the league for a quarter century. Huh?
Imagine being like, you know what? We do have a chance to win, but
sure,
I'm a racist.
Let's not base it on athletic merit. Let's just base it on race. That doesn't seem like a good way to run a sports organization, Jim.
No, but as we have learned, sometimes racists will bite off their nose to spite their face, and here is a stellar example of that.
Mm-hmm. So how did Ernie Davis get signed? The Interior Secretary Stuart Udall issued an ultimatum to Marshall: sign a black player by the start of the 1962 season, or he would revoke the Redskins' 30-year lease on the D.C. stadium, now the Robert F. Kennedy Memorial Stadium. The stadium was a city-owned facility, and the Washington city government has long been legally reckoned as a branch of the federal government, given that the Constitution gives Congress ultimate authority over the Capitol, as we have seen even more so recently. Marshall could not bring himself to draft a black player, so he left the decision to general manager and head coach Bill McPeak, who picked Ernie Davis, the best player in the draft. A good choice.
Smart.
Davis refused to play for the Redskins and demanded a trade. Good.
Good for him. Don't blame you, man.
Yeah.
Don't blame you.
A deal with Cleveland was engineered by Browns coach Paul Brown without the knowledge of the owner, Art Modell. This had been standard operating procedure with the Browns from their inception in 1946. Brown served as his own general manager and had enjoyed a free hand in football matters. The Redskins traded the rights to Davis to the Cleveland Browns for Bobby Mitchell and first-round draft pick Leroy Jackson. Davis chose to go to the Cleveland Browns, where his classmate, John Brown, who I believe graduated Syracuse 2 years prior to him, so they were like pretty close in age. Jim Brown would be his roommate, and Jim Brown, whom he admired, was already playing, as we've talked about. Davis signed a 3-year, $200,000 contract with the Browns in late December 1961 in San Francisco while preparing for the East-West Shrine Game. Originally reported at $80,000, the contract, according to Davis's attorney, Tony Filippo, consisted of $80,000 for playing football, including a $15,000 signing bonus, $60,000 for ancillary rights such as image marketing, and $60,000 for off-season employment. It was the most lucrative contract for an NFL rookie up to that time. Pretty good.
Which, by today's standards, $200,000 worth today. $2.19 million.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Not a bad day's work.
Yeah. But also seems probably low for what people are getting. I mean, there's been an insane inflation in top players.
Right. Like, by today's standard, like $2 million is probably not.
Yeah, that's like a lineman.
Right.
That's interesting itself. Top players back then. Still only $2 million.
Yeah.
Barely buys a house.
And that's like unheard of, right?
Yep.
Because it's like he's the only one.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But then you look at side note, you look at the Brooklyn Dodgers who played baseball but also had jobs. So sports were not up until a certain point in time were not as lucrative as they are today.
Indeed. All right, let's keep going here. So the Browns' dream pairing of Davis with Jim Brown took a tragic turn when Davis was diagnosed with leukemia. The rift between Coach Brown and Modell worsened when Modell brought in doctors who said Davis was well enough to play, and Brown still refused to allow it. Although Davis's leukemia was in remission at the time, Brown felt letting him play would hurt team morale. This contributed to Modell's decision to replace Brown before the 1963 season. Davis was allowed to practice on the field without physical contact and helped Brown draw up game plans, but he never played a meaningful down. His only appearance at Cleveland Stadium came at a preseason game on August 18th, in which he ran onto the field as a spotlight followed him. Following his death, the Browns retired his number 45 jersey. So let's talk a little bit more about what actually happened and how he passed. So while preparing to play in the College All-Star game against the Green Bay Packers, which they made the College All-Stars play an NFL team, that's hilarious. That's wild. It's kind of fun. I wish stuff like that still happened. This was going to be in Chicago in July during the summer of 1962. Davis woke with a swollen neck and was hospitalized with mumps or mononucleosis initially suspected. He was diagnosed with acute monoclinic leukemia on August 1st, and he had the deadly blood disease since April of 1962. He began receiving medical treatment. Davis went to Johns Hopkins in Baltimore when he was dying, 3 months after being diagnosed, and the chemical treatments experienced and through chemical experiments he experienced a 4 to 5 month remission. The disease was then incurable, and Davis died at the very young age of 23 at Cleveland Lakeside Hospital, 2 a.m. on Saturday, May 18th, 1963. Both houses of the United States Congress eulogized Davis, and a wake was held at the neighborhood house in Elmira, New York. More than 10,000 mourners paid their respects. Jim, do you know what the population of Elmira likely is?
In 1963?
Sure.
Probably a hair more than 10,000.
I was gonna say that sounds like the whole town show.
Right.
I would bet. During the funeral, a message was received from President Kennedy. It was read aloud to all the people attending the service. Davis is buried at Woodlawn Cemetery in Elmira. His commemorative statue now stands in front of the school named in his honor, Ernie Davis Academy. Another statue of Davis stands on the campus of Syracuse University near the steps of Hendricks Chapel and the Quad. When pregame pep rallies are held, or where pregame pep rallies are held. He was elected to the College Football Hall of Fame in the fall of '79. In the Southern Tier region of New York, the best high school football players in their final year of eligibility are invited to play in the Ernie Davis Classic. The game is traditionally played on Thanksgiving Day or the night before Thanksgiving. Oh, that's pretty cool. Do they get to play the Packers, though?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's in Green Bay.
Fly them out.
Yeah, fly out this Midwest team to upstate New York. Tracks.
Same weather. It'd be fine.
Yeah, the Ernie Davis Classic does ring bells in my upstate New York existence here. So, who knew?
All right.
Who knew?
There we go. Well, let's learn about this movie we talked a little bit about, The Express. It's a motion picture biography, a biopic, or a biopic, depending on who you are.
Depending on who you're talking to.
What do you say, Jim? What?
I say biopic.
And that's why we both co-host this podcast, because that's what I say too.
Okay.
Biopic doesn't sound right. It sounds like a piece of skin you biopsied, right?
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm taking a hard stance here on that.
I see.
Biopic.
Jeez.
Get out of here.
Get the fuck away from me.
That's not the portmanteau I want.
Yeah.
Two separate words. Biopic. Anyway, The Express, the Ernie Davis story, directed by Gary Fleeter and based on the nonfiction book, The Elmira Express, the story of Ernie Davis by Robert C. Gallagher, began production in April 2007 and was released on October 10th of 2008. Rob Brown plays Davis, with Dennis Quaid portraying Davis's Syracuse University coach, Ben Schwartzwalder. Well, there you go. I wonder if it was shot around Syracuse and maybe a little bit of Elmira.
On location, perhaps.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know.
All right. Well, let me know when you watch it, Jim.
Yeah, I will. I will. I actually do want to watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this on my watch list. Maybe we'll do another movie recap episode.
We could do a movie review of The Express.
Yeah. All right.
The Elmira Express.
We'll throw it on the list. That might be good. Let's see. In 2011, rival schools, Southside High School in Elmira, New York, and Elmira Free Academy, which is where Ernie went, combined their athletic teams, which together were renamed the Elmira Express. Wow, that's so cool. Named after, of course, Ernie Davis. Jim, I've got a few articles here just to kind of highlight a little bit more of his career and a little bit more of his high school days as an athlete. Because again, as I mentioned, he didn't just play football. He played basketball and I believe baseball as well. And I saw something that mentioned like looking at Major League Baseball at one point too. Like that guy was a true athlete.
He was Bo Jackson before Bo Jackson.
Mm-hmm. So let's read a little bit of these real quick. They're all pretty short, and they'll have some longer ones at the end here. This is from the Daily Bulletin, December 15th, 1954. Meyer sparks Elmira victory. Elmira, the Elmira Free Academy, owned its second non-Southern Tier Conference victory today, 59-52 over Horseheads, due largely to the late-scoring exploits of John Meyer. The 6'5" former Waverly High player came off the bench to tally 8 of his 10 points in the final 5 minutes to spark the Blue Devils to victory. Mike Holmes was tops for the winners with 16, 5 less than Horsehead's Van Duser. The Elmirans are still without the services of their freshman find, Ernie Davis, who suffered a sprained ankle in last Friday's win over Troy, Pennsylvania. And this is basketball. Again, I think most of the newspaper clippings I found from him in high school are basketball. Now there's a lot more basketball games played, so there's in a season, so there's going to be more articles naturally, but still a ton of basketball highlights, at least in the newspaper. Maybe it was a bigger sport in general in the 50s too. In Elmira, who knows? Could be a lot of factors. This one is very short. This is from the Daily Bulletin, again, November 2nd, 1955. And it's a little, you'll see. It says, "Excuse, please." In yesterday's published Southern Tier Conference Basketball Roundup, Elmira Free Academy's Ernie Davis was mentioned as an outstanding junior. He's only a sophomore.
Wow.
So making sure that everyone knows he's that good and he's not even that old. Which I thought was a fun little correction they felt the need to throw in. The Daily Bulletin again. This is from November 5th, 1955. Elmira Auburn High's football team scored in the fourth period last night to preserve its undefeated string at 25 with the 12-12 deadlock against Elmira Free Academy. It was the second time this season the Blue Devils have played a 12-12 tie. Johnson City held the Southern Tier Conference leaders to a standoff last month. Tony Holmes on a 1-yard blast in the first period, and Ernie Davis on an 8-yard gallop with a fumble in the third period supplied the EFA scores. This one's football. Maybe they're both football. Why are they playing high school football in November and December, Jim? Also, football scores of 59-52. Where's the defense?
That's a fair question to ask, Rom.
I thought these were, we can interrogate it in a later episode. Was it football or basketball? Write in, guys.
Yeah, what do you think was happening there?
Let's see. And this is from newspaper clipping 1962, after just after I believe he had signed a new NFL contract. This is from the Glens Falls Times, January 27th. No worry, free jobs. All-American halfback Ernie Davis, who has signed a fat contract with the Cleveland Browns, has some rosy ideas about security and happiness in future years. Speaking of his playing career at Syracuse and his career in pro ball that starts next fall, Davis said to a newspaper reporter, "I want to play pro ball for about 10 years. But mainly I am interested in the long-range benefits, security, and things like that. When I get through with football, I want to step into a good job with no more worries for the rest of my life. This outstanding young athlete will find quickly enough that stepping into a good job is no guarantee of freedom from worries. Every normal person, however well situated, is subjected to a great variety of them practically all his life." Which, very weird editorialization in this article. I like it more for the snapshot of where Ernie Davis wanted to go and not this journalist's bitchy attitude. He goes on to compare it to John F. Kennedy has a good job, but he doesn't have it good. He's got problems. And again, a weird juxtaposition between two American figures who would legacies would be cut short, right?
Right.
And yeah.
But also you're this is total apples and oranges. We're comparing the job that Ernie may get, which, by the way, is you can basically do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yep.
He'll have, if everything went according to plan, will have played 10 years of pro football, will leave like a god. He could have his pick of whatever job he wants. And that job is not being the president of the United States. Being the president of the United States, contrary to popular belief at this point, is actually a pretty hard job.
Sure.
Anyway.
Yeah, again, interesting to see, a quote from him. Because again, I tried to find more quotes from him directly, but he was just getting started. There wasn't a lot of interviews with him that I could find, unfortunately. I got one more here that I'll kind of go through real quick as I pull it up, because it's a nice summary of everything we've talked about today. Jim, are you ready?
I think so.
All right. This is from 2015, but it's from the Adirondack Daily Enterprise, November 21st. Famous New Yorker, Ernie Davis. If Ernie Davis's life seems like a tragedy of promise unfulfilled, it's because the Elmira Express had already done so much to fulfill his potential and break down barriers as an athlete and a man before disease struck him down. Ernest Davis was born in New Salem, Pennsylvania on December 14th, 1939. He lived with his grandparents in Uniontown until age 11 when he moved to Elmira, New York to live with his mother. Ernie became a 3-sport star at Elmira Free Academy, leading the Blue Devils to 2 league championships in football. As he neared graduation, Davis was eyed by Major League Baseball scouts, which I mentioned before, and while his friends expected him to get a basketball scholarship for college, Ernie himself was interested in academics as well as athletics. In his era, an athlete couldn't expect to live on the money made from sports for the rest of his life. The football star Jim Brown recommended his own alma mater, Syracuse University, as a school that could prepare Davis for both football and business careers. Which, we talked a little bit about, he was in the ROTC, and as we were talking, it's thinking my God, he was very active for the star athlete on a major college football team. At Syracuse, Davis wore number 44, the same number Jim Brown wore. In 3 years on the varsity squad, Davis broke Brown's school records for rushing in all-purpose yards per carry, touchdowns, and points scored. Poor Jim Brown. I mean, Jim Brown got to be in the running, man, so it's, it worked out.
It evens out. It evens out.
The Express also reached 2 milestones denied Brown. On New Year's Day, 1960, Davis led the Orangemen to victory over the University of Texas in the Cotton Bowl Classic. He started on offense and defense, which you talked about, intercepting a pass as well as scoring, rushing, and receiving touchdowns. The win earned Syracuse its first ever championship in D1 football, as determined by coaches and sports writers. 2 years later, Davis became the first African-American to win the Heisman Trophy for most outstanding player in college football. Following the 1961 college season, Davis was the first African-American to be drafted by the Washington Redskins, as we talked about, the last whites-only team in the National Football League. Davis didn't want to play for presumably racist team, so the Redskins traded him to the Cleveland Browns, where he would become Jim Brown's teammate. Before joining the Browns for the 1962 season, Davis was named the college all-star team, named to it, that played annually against the NFL championship team. I thought it was just a random team. The championship team. That rules. Davis missed the game due to an illness diagnosis, acute monocytic leukemia, and incurable blood cell disease. After intense treatments, doctors declared the disease in remission, and there was hope that Davis could return to football for the 1963 NFL season. His struggle with the disease made him an even bigger hero with sports fans and Americans in general, but shortly after Davis wrote about his fight for the Saturday Evening Post, his health turned for the worse again. Within days of returning to the hospital, he died on May 18th, 1963. In fact, I found an article that mentioned him being at Syracuse on May 9th with Jim Brown for an alumni.
Wow.
So very unexpected. The Cleveland Browns retired Davis's number 45, even though he had never played a professional football game. The Elmira Free Academy eventually became the Ernie Davis School, and we got the 2008 movie The Express that told the story to a new generation. If Ernie Davis made history in life, his tragic fate has made him an American legend. there you go. A nice little summary thought for Ernie Davis on our episode today.
Rest in peace to Ernie Davis and all of his accomplishments on and off the field.
Yeah. Speaking of summaries, Jim, we gotta wrap this episode up. What do you say we summarize some things we are gonna promote? I don't know if that transition worked, but it got us there.
Yeah, it got me to the door.
Sure.
I'll open it. I'm able to open the door. All right, folks. Let's say here's the hypothetical that you got to deal with, right? And that you're working with here. Let's say you're the top pick, right? Everybody wants you, and for some reason, there are all these white people who don't want you on their team. Well, don't be sad, because you don't want to be there anyway. You don't want to go there. It's not worth your time. Let them lose in their own racist way. But here's what I would say to help you pick up your spirits, because nobody wants to deal with that shit. You go buy my album, Upstate Understandings. It is a tour de force. It is worth every penny. You go over to jimsearch.bandcamp.com. You can pick up a physical copy. There are CDs and tapes left, and there's some t-shirts also. Also, before I forget, the album, limited quantities on both sides. We are running low on all the physicals. Again, a true tour de force of jokes, executive produced by Rob Adler, and also the art done by Adam Russell and filmed by Matt Ely. It is my very first album, and you will love it. Also, jimsearchcomedy.com to go see all the dates and all that stuff. And I will be in Binghamton, New York.
Woo.
Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's. That's right, baby. March 27th for Stellar Human Presents. It's going to be a dope comedy show. It's a yearly tradition. We're coming back again. I'm bringing up some good homies. And by that, I mean one, Courtney Farrington. And also hosted by Stephen Brown. You don't want to miss it. The link for those tickets is going to be in the show notes. It's going to be so much fun. You got to be there. Doors are at 6:30. Shows at 7 o'clock. And yeah, jimsearchcomedy.com. Once again, go run it up. Rob, they've done all those things I have asked, but yet and still they want to support the movement. What can they do?
Let's just say you have a podcast you really like and you want to reach out to them, and you do it on a platform called Listen Notes. And little do you know, it's going to be a long 8 months before you get a response. Lucky for you, you just downloaded the album New York Sticky, available at brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. And those 8 months are going to fly by, baby. It's going to feel like nothing. So go grab that. Also, hey, I've been plugging standwithminnesota.com. I won't go into too much detail, but consider heading there, checking out the organizations there, and donating some money to those causes. Jim,
yes,
we need a hint for next week's episode,
and we have one, and that hint is this: next week, folks, I'm going to ask you to pull up to the bumper.
All right. I'm excited for it. I really am. I'm really excited.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun one.
You know what's not fun? It's when I forget to think of a closing transition. But here we are yet again. We need an up pun. Are you ready for me to deliver one?
Yeah, we're here.
Well, Jim, I need to go run up the field, much like Ernie Davis used to famously do. So let's get on out of here.
You did your best. That's all we can ask, dude. Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.